Hello and welcome to episode 24 of the Knitting Teaspoon podcast. I'm Liesbeth, your host, and this is a podcast which is mostly about knitting, sometimes also about other crafts that I've been doing as well, and also a bit of life stuff, I guess. Today is July 26th, so it's a Thursday. This is not my usual podcasting schedule, so if I'm a little bit off, that's probably because of that. And there's been a lot going on this week for me, so that's something to keep in mind. Also, if I'm incredibly sweaty, it's 36 degrees Celsius today here in Eindhoven where I am, and currently it is not much cooler than that. I think we may have gone down to 34 by now, but not much more than that. 36 degrees Celsius, for those of you who don't know, is around 98 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's like body temperature. So it is incredibly difficult to get rid of your body heat here. So here I am talking about knitting, because of course everyone wants to be doing knitting in this kind of weather. I think most people on the train thought me completely crazy. Especially when I show you guys what I've been up to this week. But before I get into that, let me tell you a little bit about what I'm wearing. I'm wearing an Agnes top. This is a sewing pattern by Tilly and the Buttons. She's an incredible designer. I love, all of the designs of hers that I've made so far, which are the Rosa shirt, the Agnes top, the Françoise dress, the Rosa shirt dress, the Delphine skirt. So I've made a few, and I just enjoy the way that she's really thorough on the pattern descriptions. But that's I think enough about that. I don't know where the fabric came from. It may have been Poppy Designs, but it might also be someone else, so I'm not really sure. I just found this at the local market. So, the outside type of market with stalls and everything, and they sell fabrics as well. So, I really don't know what fabric this was, and I sewed it up about half a year ago, I guess, by now. So, nothing new here. So, I feel like I'm talking a mile a minute, and I did not even get into all the things that I've been up to yet. Well, the only knitting project that I've been doing this week, you can guess if you've watched last week's episode, is my baby blanket. So, last week, this was a teeny tiny blanket. I was 2 squares in. I put in a marker. You can't see from this side where it is, but you guys will probably be pointing at your screen. Like, it's there, but I'm on the other side of the blankets. So, I can't see it, but it's here. So, I was 2 squares in. Now I'm mid-row, so that makes it a little bit difficult to show you guys. But I've done 13 squares this week, and I forgot to count how many skeins that is, but I'm approximately halfway through my blanket, and that's a good thing because I cast on not last Thursday but on a Wednesday, and I have until not coming Saturday when this podcast goes live. So for you it may be in the past, but for me it's still in the future. But the week after it needs to be done, because this is going to be a wedding gift for my cousin. And it's coming along great. I really enjoy knitting on this blanket, even though it's incredibly hot to be working on this in the train to my work every day. But also I was really happy that I had it with me and had it thrown into extra skeins, because on Wednesday I had my first day at work. And I was planning to go swimming before I got to work. So in the town where I have my job, there's a swimming pool that's open like 7 a.m. to 8:30, and I had to be there at 9 a.m. at work. So I thought, I can throw in some swimming before I go there. So I had planned an early train to go there, and I arrived at the station in kind of a rush because I had completely forgotten how much time it took me to, wake up, get dressed, shove some breakfast in, and hurry off to the station. And I got there completely sweaty because it was already warm on Monday as well, because we're officially in a heat wave now in the Netherlands, because, well, let's not go in there, but the train wasn't going. Apparently, on the small half-an-hour trek that I have to take to my work, there were 2 people who committed suicide on that trek by jumping in front of the train on 2 different locations, so it was not 2 people together. So the trains were not going because they had to clean up everything and probably de-traumatize the poor train driver, and that was kind of a mess. Then the shortest detour to my work, because there's actually 3 routes that I can take to my work. One of them is obviously the shortest route, but there's 2 possible detours to get to my work location. Well, one of them had maintenance work, so there weren't trains going there either. There were buses instead, so that was not a recommended option. And then the other track, well, guess what? Someone else committed suicide on that track as well. So I had to wait a long time on the station. I was really happy that I had some additional knitting with me, or additional skeins for my project. And then I had to take the bus, and from there another train to head to my destination from another direction. Well, it was insane when I got there. It took me 2.5 hours, whereas it's supposed to take me about an hour to get there. So I was a little bit annoyed, but also very glad that I had something to do with me for this time. So I finally got there. I was also very happy that I had planned on swimming before I went to work, because that meant that I was still on time for my work. I would not have wanted to be like 1.5 hours late for my first work day. But yeah, it was an adventure. And then started a very exhausting first day, because I wasn't used to waking up so early, so being up that early meant that I had a little too less sleep that day. But then I got to meet most of the co-workers, except for, of course, it's the middle of July, or the end of July. A lot of people are on holiday, so a lot of people I couldn't meet yet, but that's actually a good thing, I think, because I met so many people that I think I forgot half of their names already. So, yeah. But that's okay. I know the names of my direct co-workers and slightly further away co-workers. Well, I will get to know their names once they appear to be relevant, I guess. So I think it took a few hours to get all things sorted, and then I started working, and I really, really enjoyed that. So that's a little rant, but I wanted to tell you guys anyway. So the rest of the week has been a bit more fun actually than Monday, because on Monday I basically just met everybody and got things arranged that I would need to start working. For instance, a computer, because I need to do some data analysis on a computer, and therefore I need a computer to work on. So I needed to get those kind of things fixed on the first day. So that meant that I did not actually get to do any work yet. But the second day, oh my god, it was so much better. It's so much fun to work there. I'm really, 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 really happy that I decided to go for this job, because yeah, this is work that I really enjoy doing, so I'm so incredibly happy with that. Really, I'm just so happy with the choice I made. So yeah, so that's how I enjoy my work. So that's a good thing, I guess. But as you may think, I've been working a bit more on this blanket on the train there and back, but it also meant that I was very exhausted when I got home. I really need to get used to my new schedule, I think. And yeah, that it just takes some time to get used to it, and it leaves me a little less time to knit, because all the other things that I usually did in the daytime, or usually at least have been doing recently in the daytime, I all have to do in the evening now, such as cleaning the house, all that stuff just shifts to the evening, because you don't have any time at home because you're not home. You obviously know how this works, I guess. I'm not the first one to start working. But even though I did not have any time to work on anything else but the blanket, I still have one more project that I want to share with you. And this is not a knitting project, but a dyeing project. And I actually did this last week, but I didn't tell you guys about it because, well, I had plenty of content last week, because then I still had a lot of time to knit. And also because this dyeing project was still drying on Friday when I was podcasting. So I dyed this skein of yarn on last Thursday, because my boyfriend's mom came over to our place because she had to do something for her musical instrument, and the specialist on this field, I think, is somewhere closer to where we live. So she thought, let's head over here. And then she also wanted to visit some old friends, because she's also lived in Eindhoven when she was younger, so there's probably a lot of connections. I don't know why exactly, but she came over, and she had arranged some dye for me that I can use in the future. She did not take it with her, but she's also a knitter and she's interested in dyeing. So I thought it would be nice to show her how I did this, because she'd asked before. So we went through the process of dyeing it, and it was supposed to become a solid skein, and you can obviously see it's definitely not solid, but I think it's nice variegated or semi-solid color. And it's actually an attempt to remake the first color that I ever dyed, which is behind me here. So here, this one, but then in a darker tone. So these two should go really well together, because yeah, they're basically variations of the same color. I can't remember exactly what the recipe was for this one, but I know for sure that I used all the same colors in this one, except that I used more dye. So yeah, I really like how it turned out. It's a little bit on the purplish side, I guess, but that's just because I keep on forgetting that the magenta dye is just so much stronger than all the other colors. So yeah, one knitting project to work on and a dyeing project. And I think that's all that I have to share about the projects that I've been working on. But if you watched last week's episode, you will know that I had some gifts ready to give. So I completely forgot to go to the hairdresser on Friday before it was too late to actually do that. So I went there on Saturday instead before, actually when we headed off to my grandma's party, my grandma's birthday party. She turned 85 this week. So we went first past my hairdresser. She's very close to me and she's open on Saturday. So I quickly dropped in to give her the baby shoes, and I took some pictures of what I did for a ribbon to tie around the little ankles of the baby. So I handed them over and she was so happy with them, so they were so well received. I'm really happy that this random act of kindness was so well received. So yeah, and that was really fun to make such a quick project, which was really enjoyable for me to work on for several different reasons, such as the new needles that I got to try out, that I got to use some of my leftover stash, but also that I got to make someone else so happy with something handmade. And of course it was a very quick project as well. So that was really a good start of gift giving Saturday that I had. And then we headed off to my grandma, and we first arrived at my grandma. My boyfriends and I were actually the first to arrive there. So I handed over the shawl, and my grandma was so incredibly happy with it. She had wanted to wear it, but it was way too hot to be wearing it. But she thought it was incredibly pretty, and she's really proud of it, and she'd been showing it off to everyone else that has come along later on, and she is so happy that, then to see this, and also that the crafting gene has passed on in the generations. So it was really nice to give this to my grandma, and I knew that she would like it, but I did not know that she would like it this much. So I'm really happy with that. Also, my family got to see it because I talked about it to my parents that I would give my grandma this shawl, but they had not actually seen it because they also live in another part of the country. So they also got to see it, and they also thought it was pretty. So that was nice. And then the last gift that I had was the Japanese knot bag that I made for my aunt, and she also thought it was very, very cute. So I'm really happy that all of the gifts were so well received. It kind of made me proud, but mostly very happy that that I can use my skill to create things that make other people happy. That's such a gift to be given to me. So that's really nice. So I think that's really everything that I have to share with you for this week. I will have to see when I have time to edit this. I think I will be able to edit this later this evening, but I'm going to my knit group first. And it's going to be probably a little bit late, but sometimes you just make late hours, I guess. And then wake up more early tomorrow and go to a housewarming tomorrow evening, which is why I don't have time for a podcast episode tomorrow, so that's why I'm doing it today. Also, maybe next week I also won't have time to podcast on Friday, so that's why I decided it would not be such a bad idea to shift it forward a little bit. But chances are I really won't have anything else to share with you than this blanket, which is still on my lap, and it's incredibly hot. So I'm going to leave it with this. So I think I completely forgot to mention this at the beginning of the episode, but that I just mentioned it at the end of the episode doesn't mean that it's any less appreciated. But thank you so much for joining me this week. It really meant a lot that you took some time to spend it with me, and it's really fun to have some interaction going with you guys. And one more thing, if you were interested in the one skein knit along from Dupont yarns, be sure to enter because it ends at the end of this month, so the end of July. So I hope you guys, if you're interested, see this before the before August starts, because maybe you have a chance to win some of the lovely yarns. Although it's incredibly hot, I'm in fact wearing socks made out of their yarn. Yeah, I'm crazy. Anyway, so thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you guys have a lovely week. I hope you have air conditioning wherever you are, and have a lovely week, and I hope to see you next week.